go. Finally! Where's your custom tactics? Where's your custom tactics? Where's your custom... They're here! The custom tactics that have made me go 20-0 with about 20 different teams this up. Because listen, right, when I do custom tactics, the people listen. They know I'm not just doing it for an easy vid, easy views or whatever. This is my second of the year. And the reason why I've not done others is because I kind of stuck with my first bunch of custom tactics for a long time. But I've evolved now. I've changed. I've got 3 main formations now that aren't even really on the last one. So we've got a bit to get through. First of all, my main formation at the minute. 3, 4, 2, 1. So first up, my favorite, probably the most balanced, the one that's given us the most joy recently, especially in FUT Champs, because this one's more for like Elite Division rivals, but I'll get to that in a sec, because this one first, 3, 4, 2, 1. I like this because you've got balance in defense, because you can make it kind of defend as a 5. It's not ratty. And attacking wise, your right forward and left forward get in such good positions. So width, first of all, we're bringing this right down to 35. This is mainly because your 3 centre backs, you don't want these through balls coming down here. You don't want them going down there. You need them tighter. Depth, we push to 55. Just want them a bit higher. You don't want to invite them on too much, because then it's quite easy for them to like get down your lines and territorially pin them in. So we want to win the ball a bit higher. As for pretty much all formations this year, you've got defensive style and build-up play as balanced. But chance creation, as usual, goes to direct passing, mainly because your players will bunch up the pitch, force them and their team to retreat. And because you've got this striker left forward, right forward, they literally just don't pick you up. Fire them RBA balls into your front 3, just play off each other, you'll get an opening easily. That width does stay on 50 just because I've not really changed that throughout the year. Corners and free kicks, we leave on 2, because for corners, I like it with 2. You can go short and give it that person on the edge, because we're no longer the corner king of whipping them in, but we still get our decent fair share from them. Players in box, we just up 1. This mainly just affects the right mid and left mid being a bit more involved, I think. Not really tested with 5. It doesn't really matter too much. This is the important bit. I've actually not put instructions on keepers this year, and I've seen a lot of people do. A lot of people will have sweeper keeper and comes for crosses, but I've just left it balanced, so we're not changing it now. All centre-backs, of course, untouched, but the big one is centre-mids. We want them both stay back and cover centre. Both of them, and stay on the edge of the box for cross. You don't want this centre mid going missing when you've already got 3 people in front here. And with outside of the box finishes like the Travellas, that flick up volley now, you want them in that area waiting to do it. Next most important thing, you do have a lot of instructions with this formation. So if you don't have these instructions on, you will be too open and probably lose. Come back on defense and stay wide of the big ones, because then that'll obviously force them to kind of come in. They're not really a 5, but they don't leave them gaps out wide. And if you have got them gaps out wide, you've got Gvardiol and Alberto who would have to move. Then they've got an easy pass inside to score. So that has to be on. And stay on edge for box, I found, is a bit more important than you'd think, because if you don't have it on and say Alphonso Davies has got the ball, Emerson sometimes will just literally just try and be back post in no man's land, and then if there's a turnover, they can counter-attack you quickly. So right mid, the same as left mid. Come back on defense, stay wide, and stay on edge of box for cross. So you've got your wide people set. Your centre mids are staying back. So all 3 of the front 3 are going to be stay central, getting behind, and stay forward. Say it again. Stay central, getting behind, stay forward. All 3. Because they're going to be waiting in the wings to counter-attack. You've got enough in defense. And when the game starts, obviously this sounds stupid, but if you put striker drop back, they do take up quite an alright position defensively as well, even though you've got stay forward on the game. Just do it. One more thing. With your wide midfielders, like some of the pros might put someone like Ginola there. I don't like it personally. I like them to be really solid defensively. But it's not the worst thing in the world to have one who can defend and one attacker on the other side, because then you can seamlessly come into a 4-back, which a lot of you will build teams for. So without further ado, the next formation. 4-3-2-1. This might be the most popular for you watching, because you'll have players that fit the system. So we've got balance. The width comes down to 45. Depth, I'll just keep the same in this one. You've got a 4-back in it. Just let them be where they should be. Balanced again. Direct passing as always. And with this one, I bring the width right down to 35. Doesn't really make sense when you think of the formation, because you've not got wide players in advanced areas, but I like to get in between the lines here. Your right centre mid and left centre mid, and just feed off that front 3 again. And players in box, corners and free kicks does remain the same. Going into the instructions, some of these are quite important. So first of all, defensively, this all depends on what footed your player is in centre mid. So I'm going to go straight to the centre mids first. Your middle one is going to be on stay back and cover centre. Simple as that. Just keep them in the middle of the pitch. Now, you're going to have one centre mid who's a centre mid, normal centre mid who can defend, and one attacker. And this is for if the attacker is right-footed. So you want your left centre mid to also be stay back while attacking and cover centre. And then you want your right centre mid to just be get into box for cross, nothing else touched. And if you do that defensively, you want to put your right back on stay back while attacking and overlap. Don't know why I keep doing all this with my hands. And then your left back on overlap. Don't stay back whilst attacking. Because the thing about this formation is, it's a 4-3-2-1, but you want it to defend as a 4-4-2. So what this team would do, you'd have Modric and Benzema defending as a 4-4-2. Ginola would go to right mid, Bale to left mid. And the instructions to make that happen would be Mbappe and Cantona on stay central and getting behind. And then Bale on comeback on defense. But say your attacker of the three is left-footed, then what you want to do is just swap the team over. So Bale getting box for cross, you'll put Benzema on stay back and cover centre, and then you'll put the right back on just overlap. The left back will come stay back while attacking. Your left forward will be the one that stays central and gets in behind. And then your right forward will come back on defense. If anyone wants to see my being behind with 15 minutes left, this is just a quick one. Constant press. Depth is going to be 100. Fast build-up. Direct passing. There could be a better formation for this. I am rarely behind with 15 minutes to go. Sorry to flex. But we'll have the full-backs on overlap. I should probably put join attack, really, shouldn't I? CDMs, you've got both get forward. Wide cam stay forward, get into box for cross. And stay central. And then pretty self-explanatory in it. But honestly, if you're comfortable with your tactic, your constant press one, just keep on it. Because your players are literally here, there, and everywhere anyway, aren't they? Just what you're comfortable with attacking with in that situation, really. The good thing about this, I think it just pins them in a bit. Now, if you've been watching me on Twitch daily, which a lot of you should be doing, I'm literally a daily streamer now for the first time ever. There's rivals every day. There's packs every day. There's about 5 foot champs a weekend, some which don't get uploaded on here. So get on there. But these are the tactics which I've been using in rivals, which I've been severely successful with against pros. It's a weird one, though. I'm a realist. I'm not going to pretend like they're the be-all and end-all, because you kind of need end-game players for it. But I'll show you it anyway. Just like a 3, your 5 comes down right to the 35. And, by the way, before you call me rat, this is more attacking than the 3-4-2-1. 100%. I've proved it in gameplay. Our depth, we put right up to 60. Because we don't want them retreating too much, like technically being right wing back and left back, do we? Chance creation, again, direct passing. We don't change anything about that. But we do put our attacking width down quite a bit. I'll explain why in instructions, and then these are the same as every other formation. Honestly, I'm just giving you these because the streams made me. I really think you should use the other 2 formations because the players that I've got in the positions that you need to have are ridiculous. So the back 3, obviously, we keep the same. Your best centre-back, put them in the middle of the 3 or 5. Don't think you should have, like, the biggest one in the centre, because that's usually where a lot of the agility comes. So we've got both wing-backs on join the attack and inverted, which sounds stupid, doesn't it? Because you've got no one in them positions. So you think you want overlap. You think you want to give it the width. But I like them popping up in these weird positions where they're just not marked by any formation. Just pop it off to them to give it centre mid. Your strikers are run mark. Your centre mids mate runs forward. Also, what's really stupid about this formation is your defensive mid is the right centre mid on the image. And they do overlap in game. It's really stupid. But yeah, this one will actually be your CDM. So for me, I've got Team the Modric. I've got him stay back, cover centre. And when I had Pogba there, this was not the same. And that's still a 90 rated player who's a lot. You need someone with immense agility because they're basically left in the lurch. They're basically left on the road. You need someone who's going to be able to twist and turn out of situations and pick the right pass. And Modric is certainly that. These 2, I've got get forward and get into the box for cross. If you have watched my streams, you'll realise they pop up. It literally looks like I've got a front 4. Benzema will pop up next to Mbappe and Kunku next to Cantona. And once you get that pass in, it's almost impossible to stop him. It's like a line of 4 against 2 defenders. That's why we do it. There's also a bit of risk to it as well. And I do keep pressing L1 all game to keep sending them, coming them back, sending them. I don't know what it'd be like if I was playing like quite normal. Now, my 2 strikers are stay central and getting behind as usual. I'm not stopping there. You can have camera settings and controller settings. Camera settings, I have camera height 20, zoom 10, tele broadcast. When I go co-op, I just do it as default. So yeah. Controller settings, pretty much the same as everyone else's. There's no point going on about these, isn't there? Just watch them and copy them if you want. The only one I would say, why does that keep going back? That needs to be on none. And it keeps changing it for me. I don't care if it's not recommended. So the one I recommend is that on none. High means that, like, your player doesn't automatically go to the interception straight away. So that's quite important. All these are as usual. Player lock definitely on because I got 20-0 using just player locks in attack. when you click right stick, left stick in, get another player and pass him the ball. If you've not seen that, you must do it after this. Player relative on right stick switching. Make sure that's done. Because at the beginning of the year, it's on ball relative, which is stupid. Just make sure these two are done. And when you're defending, start learning how to right stick switch. It can take you from there to there as a player, trust me. Everything else assisted. And the only change I've done since last controller settings, I've had analog sprint on since FIFA 20, when I was 8th in the world when I retired. I was so devastated to turn it off because that was a big part of my FIFA 20. You'd have analog sprint on, right? You'd tap the sprint button, turn it, it'd do this mad quick turn, shot off goal. But now, you want them to get full speed as quick as possible. Because if you're walking with a ball and press RT and forward, it'll do like a little speed boost. So make sure you do that. Let me know if these custom tactics get you 20-0. Let me know any formations you want me to try. And maybe other formations will make it in the next custom tactics in about 3 months. Good luck.